Well, we are back. Hello, all the Peter Meredith fans
Mhm.
out there. We are once again very honored for one to be able to do this for Peter and for the family because it's it's a really rough time right now, and we're as we say we're just trying to do anything and everything we possibly can to help assist with any expenses, anything And I know Stacy was really looking forward to moving out to East Tennessee, and now they're working on getting her moved back to
Yeah,
Colorado and
yeah, I heard, I
all
saw
that.
that. Yeah.
So now, as y'all can see, we have added a face to the place. The one and only Angel Ramon has just jumped in with us, and we may also be joined by Sue Oldham at some point, who had donated
Awesome.
the Wakeful Children books and other things. It's actually getting bid on quite well right now, honestly.
Awesome.
Oh,
So,
wow, excellent.
and Stacy got I think it's three different book sets that they were wanting to put up, and they got them posted now,
I saw
and
that. Yeah.
they've already got bids.
And those
So
are great sets. Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine. Ah, there she
and
goes.
Hi.
hello.
Hi. How are you?
All right. How's things?
Awesome. So
Yeah, all good here.
Good.
So now, Sue, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experiences with the one and only Peter Meredith?
Um, the few times I sort of engaged with Peter was on shows like this, podcasts like this on Written and Dead. If I'm honest, I didn't really know him that well, but he always came off as very open, very friendly, and just a nice man. He just seemed like a good man to me.
He
Definitely.
definitely was.
Hmm.
He had a way of just disarming you, because
Right.
he just looks like the kind of guy that might be a little hoity-toity, and he was anything but. He was just a great
Well,
man, just an absolute great man.
he was very successful in his writing and has reams of fans, and
Oh,
yeah.
he could
yeah.
quite easily have chosen to sort of laud it a bit, but I never experienced that with him, not one bit. He was always very humble, very grateful for all his readers and his fans, and like I say, he just seemed like a thoroughly nice bloke.
Yes.
So
Mm.
now, Angel, back when we first started doing these shows together, he was one of our early guests early on,
Yeah, I remember.
and
Yeah.
and he was so kind to us. I mean,
I
even
mean,
doing the two shows and everything.
it's just tough hearing that podcast all over again, knowing that he's not here. It's just tough to hear. You
It
know,
is. But we're about to
I
bring
mean,
on.
I think I teared up a little bit when we heard it.
Yeah, I think a lot of us did. Well, we are
Hmm.
bringing on, I believe it's Shelby Meredith now.
All right.
Well,
Hi,
hello.
hi.
Welcome on. Well, now that we've got you here, why don't you tell us some Peter Meredith stories? I know everybody would love to hear them.
What do you guys want to hear? Just from when I was growing up, or
Yes, absolutely.
Anything.
Yeah, I mean, because we obviously know him as an author, but what was he like, just in the family in general, not writing books and selling books?
well, for the last few years, it's largely been just writing books. That was his favorite hobby, and it's just what he loved to do. Outside of that, though, I mean, he was always caring and a giant goofball, and uh, he was just fun. His whole thing was always just having a lot of fun with his family and being around everyone. He loved to make jokes, and uh, he loved dumb humor. Fart jokes in particular would always crack him up. So I would try to find birthday cards and stuff that would fart when you open them.
Oh, no.
He would like hide behind the dresser waiting for you to come in and
Aw.
would try to time it to open it so it sounded like you did it when you came in. I thought that was hilarious.
Aw.
Uh,
Now, did he
he
ever
was
write
just
you into
an
anything?
amazing man. I have no idea. I never was never something I really wanted to know if he did.
That's hilarious. It's like, if you did, just don't tell me. I don't want to know what you did.
I don't
Pretty
want to
much.
know.
I'll read the books, but I'm not gonna start putting two and two together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he included Ipes though, which I know is a really big thing for the fans and stuff, which was cool because that's my stuffed animal, a little stuffed zebra.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an actual stuffed zebra. He described everything from the little shirt he wears, the goofy little.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah. One of the things I was really bummed about him not doing is he was when I was little, he used to tell me stories with Ipes. He would animate him and move him across the bed and stuff. And he'd go on all these grand, ridiculous adventures. And I was always hoping that he would take his writings and take those stories and make, I don't know, children's books or something with them. Just
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
they're so great.
Yeah.
Well, have you thought about maybe taking a stab at writing? You could maybe be the one to turn those into children's books.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've considered it. It's I'm a little intimidated to go into that field after seeing my dad.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I can't blame you.
We can always just have some fun with it and try it and see if it, ends up working out.
Yeah, I mean.
If I were to do anything like that, I think I'd want to continue. He was turning his books into screenplays.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
That'd be
I've always
nice.
had a passion for film, so I'd like to continue those of his. And
Oh, wow.
me and him talked about actually doing some of his screenplays and stuff just for us. I'm sorry, this is a weird angle. I just realized
No, it's all good.
more. So, yeah, I think that's where I would go with writing if I were to take his stuff at least and turn it into that, just because it was a big dream of his to see those things come onto the screen.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we all know that we're going to need to continue to try to push to hopefully still get them there one day, because I mean, with a fan base like he's got, and everybody is so devoted to his characters, especially like we were talking about Jelly Bean earlier, I think that would probably make one of the I don't know if you would go with like a TV series with the Jelly Bean stories, or maybe some movies.
Have to, since he has her actually grow up through the books.
Right.
To keep that essence of Jelly Bean, you would need to have it as actual time, basically, and watch the kid actress grow up as she develops more into this character.
Yeah.
TV series will do much better. Right. I agree.
Yeah, I know he wanted to do movies for things like Deadeye Hunt and things like that. He loved talking about how he was envisioning like a film noir sort of take on Deadeye Hunt.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, we got to check us out. A Facebook user comment here. It says, I've always said I hope one day The Undead World would be a series on Netflix.
We're hoping. That would be
fabulous. Oh,
that would be wonderful.
Honor that.
I'd actually canceled my Netflix quite a while back, but if that were to wind up on Netflix, I'm getting Netflix back.
Yeah, I'll be first in line.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, with how gory some of it could be, as much as I love Netflix, there is some streaming platforms that are specifically for horror-based categories.
Oh,
and I feel like maybe those would be a little more appropriate for these things.
Shudder or something like
that?
Yeah,
Shudder. I was going to say that's the one that comes to mind.
That way we could immediately go into all of the actual details that he did and stuff.
Yeah, really keep it true.
Gruesomeness of it. Because, I mean, that was part of the thrill of the stories, is the fact that he had those details to him. And I don't want to have to dilute them by putting them into something standard just so they could fit on Netflix.
Perfect. That's great. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, obviously, all of us read and listen to audiobooks. That's kind of how we all wound up here. And anytime something gets adapted from a book or a comic book or anything into a movie, and they just don't even touch like the real meat and potatoes of the book, it's so frustrating, because it's like, this is not what I read. This is not the author that I know. I don't know what you're doing with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would definitely want a place where you could just go uninhibited and do whatever you need to do to make it.
Yeah, I think a big portion of that, though, I went to school for film and stuff just because that's my passion on the creative end of things, is you're limited because it goes from the writer's hands to the screenwriter's hands to the director's hands, and it just gets slowly less potent for what it used to be, and you lose bits and pieces of it because it's no longer the original book. You have the screen adaptation, and then you've got the director's opinion, and then you've got the actor's opinion. I feel like if we were to do something with his books, we would need to stay involved in it personally to make sure that it kept all the importance of it.
Right.
Agreed. Yep. That'd be the best way.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really great to see. That would be really, really great to see.
Okay, now just to let everyone know, we have been inviting people to come on to tell stories or ask questions or anything. The one limitation that I've got through my StreamYard subscription is I can only have 5 on screen at a time. And so, Evelyn, we see you there. I don't know how long Sue can stick around, but as soon as we have someone drop out, I will get you on immediately. So just hang tight with us.
And you can, you know, put someone else on instead of me if you need to. I can just listen.
You got to promote technology.
Yeah, I guess if I paid them a little extra, they'd let me have more on screen. But
yeah, everything is money. Right.
But yeah, I guess hey, Vicky, the link will still be good. So if you do want to hop off for a minute, we'll bring Evelyn in, and then
go ahead and do that.
as soon as she's gone, then you can just come right back on or whatever you need to do.
That'd be fine. Yep, I'll just listen in, and you guys can talk.
And she just dropped off.
Oh, she did.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have
let me
scared her
know.
away.
I'm happy to take a seat if you'd like to have someone on. That'd be great.
Yeah, I am too. I'm sticking around for a while though, so
Cool.
you know I can pop in and out.
Awesome. So now, tell me just a really good story that no one would know about Peter.
Let's see. I don't know if what my mom has shared with you guys about my dad and stuff. He was the one who taught us how to play poker and stuff. So growing up, we were really big into family games, and we would play D&D and stuff together. But I guess my most distinctive memory right now is a poker game. We were up in the mountains for a little ski trip as a family, and we decided to bet time out in the snow barefoot as the currency.
Oh wow.
And my dad actually won the game, so he got to determine all of our times out there.
No.
He was always a team sport, so he's like, I will come and step out onto the porch, but I'm not going into the snow since I won. So that was fun.
That's cute.
He was very clever with those sorts of things. He would come up with really fun twists and all sorts of things. I think a lot of his storytelling greatly showed when he was playing games with us. Like his D&D scripts were always super in-depth and fun, and obviously he made them easier for us when we were little kids, but the older we got, the more exciting it was to go into these worlds and stuff.
Yeah
Makes sense.
You know that I never really gave that much thought, but the idea of having an actual author, a best-selling author no less, creating your D&D games, that's
right.
Like, that would be so cool.
If I can remember enough of them, I actually want to be able to put them into some, I don't know, a little book or something, just to commemorate how brilliant he was with them. Because we would go in, we would sit down at the table, and he had this tradition where he had a margarita, and he would just chill, and the slightly more tipsy he got, the more juicy he. So it was not really serious and in depth. Then all of a sudden, you'd have these lizard men who were like dancing goofy and stuff.
What a creative mind! Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I know that he used to write in a restaurant just because being stuck in an office all the time would drive him absolutely nuts. And so he would go and sit at a bar and do writings there. And he would come home the next day, or he'd come home that night, but he'd come over to us the next day and be like, can you read these? I can't read my own handwriting.
No.
It would be all these scribbles. And he's like, but it was a really good concept, so we need to figure this out.
It's bad when you can't read your own handwriting. I am guilty of that very thing.
Yeah.
Same here. My handwriting sucks too. So.
Well, it was good he did figure them out, though, because they were a lot of the big stories, like the Undead World series. A lot of that came from those, just when he became just slightly inebriated, he really let his guard down and let his walls down, and the creativity just would pour out of him. So
Wow.
We were really happy when he started making it into computer instead because we could figure out what he was trying to say.
Right. Oh, that's funny. Wow.
Now, did he have any kind of routines whenever he would go to set and write? Like kind of telling y'all, "All right, I'm going in, going to be writing. Don't nobody come in here." Anything like that?
He lived his whole life in a routine. He was very, I guess the military sort of drilled into him the importance of doing the same thing to get good results each time. And so he would wake up before everyone. The dude he would wake up at 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., who freaking knows. And he'd go into his office, and whenever there were pets in the house, they would come and cuddle at his feet. And he would just chill and start like outlining stuff at that point in time as he tried to wake up. And then he would move into exercising and stuff just to try to wake himself up more and get more blood flowing to his brain and all that. And then with stepping away, that was the important thing, is stepping away. But that time he would step away and be with his family. So he would move aside and make mom breakfast and say hi to us kids and, take the moment to actually be a part of the family. And then he would go at some point in time and lock himself back in his room. And we all knew to mostly just not bother him when he did that, because that was the real writing mode that he would do. And he would
he was busy.
hundreds of pages and then scrap them and redo them. And,
Oh, yeah. The pain.
you could hear just little murmurs from him every once in a while because he would talk to himself as he did his books. And it'd get really amusing if he was getting frustrated because you just hear, oh, damn it. It's just that's the deleting key going real fast.
Well, I want to real quick. I want to give a little update on a couple of the things that are on the auction and how they're doing right now at this time. The Apocalypse, the Undead World series that you guys have posted up with a starting bid of $90, which is a really great price when you consider what all you get.
Yes.
Our current high bid is $200.
Wow, that's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That is fantastic. And if I can get my thumb to scroll, Jack versus technology, you just can't win.
Yep.
And someone else had earlier had mentioned they wanted to donate a couple knives, like really nice knives. We've got them on here. One of them has already called a bid of $30, just straight away.
Cool.
The second knife that he posted, which looks really cool too, is at $50 for that one. So that's really nice. Now if I could find, and your donation, Victoria, is currently scroll is still sitting at $50.
Great.
So, and there's so much good stuff on here. It's crazy. And that crazy skull.
That is such
yes.
Everybody loves that one.
Yeah.
It is officially hit $75.
Wow.
Wow.
So, guys, thank you so much for bidding, participating in this, and helping out as you are. It's awesome, and with a member of the family here,
that's awesome.
The hardback for Zombie Road by David Simpson is at $55.
Nice.
All right.
So that one's going good. Bailey Higgins, her Trial by Fire donation's at $45. So keep up the bidding, keep going out there, go fight amongst yourselves, and may the best bidder win. And I'm trying to find the other two books. Here we go. Found it. For the Generation Z, books 1 through 6, starting bid was $55, bid $100.
Nice.
Oh, almost doubled. Yep.
Then the Apocalypse Crusade, the starting bid was $47. We're at $100.
Wow.
On that.
All right.
Great.
Yeah, my mom posted those up. Dad always said his fans were really incredible and generous, and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And we love his work. We really love it. So.
Absolutely.
Very talented.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for not quite knowing what to say about all that. That's just incredible.
Well, another comment from Facebook user says, my wife and I had just begun chatting with Peter recently in the last year and a half. Obviously, first because of his books, but Peter and I spoke privately about both of us being New Yorkers at different points in life, and I still am one. He and Stacy were moving to Tennessee, and my cousin from New York had just moved there a month before he decided to move there, and she just got her realtor license for the state, and how my in-laws live and work on a farm whilst he was planning on a small bunch of animals. Just a lot and love from Norway. So,
No, cool.
Wow. Okay.
That's amazing.
see, so keep the comments coming in, keep the bids going in, and I don't know if you caught the Victoria's update earlier as far as the GoFundMe page. It is got you said it was over $5,000 now.
It's got 5,700,
it's-
yeah, which is
About
great.
5,700, so we're
Oh,
closing in on
that's brilliant.
6,000. So that's good stuff.
I donated
That's-
some money to that as well.
Thank
so,
you. Yes, thank you very much. That's really nice of you.
That was really cool. Donating a portion of his sales from his new book and whatnot. So that's really cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, every little thing helps. I mean,
Every
Sue's
little thing
donation. In
helps.
fact,
That's the point. That's the idea. I mean, I got my own story about Peter too. If you got time.
I've got time. Go right ahead. Roll one more quick. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're still at $60 on your donation. So
Okay, nice.
All right. Good job.
Perfect.
Good job,
That's
Sue.
great.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. It's amazing. We appreciate it.
So go ahead, Angel.
Yeah. So obviously, I started writing in 2017. I started writing, and I told Jack and some of you guys that I went for a really bad storm. Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, and I basically had to start all over again with writing and everything. And one of the first guys that I met was Peter. A very nice guy when I met him. He had started a new group, Lit RPG Adventures and Discussions. So the first book I picked up for him was a Generation C series. That was the first book I ever read for him, and I gotta tell you, it was a wonderful read. I don't know how many guys have read that one, but that's a wonderful read.
They're great.
Yeah. And then, so me and him, we would talk on occasion. He's a funny, wonderful dude. But I think we really got close was when he joined the Written Undead group. Was when we really got close. He would hop on. Sometimes he would see I was feeling down on myself. He would message me, tell me, it's gonna be all right. Keep your head up. And he would share my new releases. I would share his new releases. It's a little hard for me to say without tearing up. So excuse me about that. So yeah, just
all good,
a all-around wonderful guy. I got to know him in 2018. We were on and off friends, but like I said, we got close around 2020. We got close when he joined the Written Undead group. And then when Javin introduced him to the group, so I would talk, we would just share it, and then we bounce ideas from each other. But then I think what really got me in, close to Peter was when me and Jack did that podcast with him. That's when we really got to know him really good. And we were supposed to, and I think Jack, if I'm correct, we were supposed to do another podcast in November, right?
Yes, he was scheduled to come back on then. And what we're going to do instead of scheduling a different guest is we're going to go ahead with the show, and it's going to be another tribute to Peter for the Written Undead. So
yeah,
we'll be doing that then.
So, like I was saying, I was really looking forward to November. I mean, I think I was trying to, try to get some ideas together with Jack and about, what else we could ask Peter and all that. I'll get some funny stories out of him, and then when we heard that, he passed, it's like, it's like a big part of a big void was made in the community. You know what I'm saying? There's a big void, and a part of me thinks I don't think we're ever going to be able to fill in that void, but we can always do the best we can. So. Mike, like Jazz said, we're gonna do a tribute for November. Mike, what was it, Mike? So November when, Jack?
I believe it was November 17th. I can check that real quick because I got my handy dandy notebook right here. Actually, wait, take that back. I think it may have been. It was actually October the 15th. So,
October the 15th. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I don't know why I kept thinking November.
Even sooner.
I say we've got so many people scheduled all the way into next year. It's
Yeah.
hard to keep up.
But you get the idea. You know, I was looking forward to it, and so yeah. I mean, so overall, Peter, I think he really influenced me as a writer too. And I think after reading his books, I kind of upgraded my craft as well as I went. You know, I mean, you know, Jackie, if you ever read any of my earlier books from 2017, 2018, and you compare them to what I write now, it's a whole different. It's like a 360. And Peter was part of that reason because of reading his books, his craft, and studying it, and you know, just seeing what made him such a good writer. And you know, I kind of understood better. You know, yeah.
You know, that's the one thing
Yeah,
about him too is he would reach out and help you if you had a question or didn't know how to
That's
go
what I
something.
liked about him. Exactly. Yeah, that part, right. You know, and now that he's gone, I feel like you know you kind of lose that community a little bit. You know, I mean, I know I'm not an artist of the same way, but he was just something special, really. You know what it is when you're a big time author. I mean, I don't know big time, but you know, you got a decent amount of fans, and he's still willing to go out and help the little guy out.
Yep.
That's what really touched me the most. I mean, I'm still a little guy, so you know, but and I really appreciated his friendship and all that. So definitely.
I know he
Yeah,
never.
That's the wonderful thing about. Sorry, that's the wonderful thing about an author. You know, regardless of how successful they may or may not be, they leave behind a fabulous legacy in their writing. And all you have to do, if you want to feel close to them again, is pick up one of their books and start reading. You know, and
there you go.
it's just a
Right.
wonderful legacy to leave.
Right, you're not wrong, Sue. Absolutely, absolutely. Although right now, I don't know about picking up one of his books now because it would hit me emotionally. I guess I would have to wait maybe a couple of months before all these emotions leave me, and I could kind of read with a clear mind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would
Yeah,
definitely, I definitely keep supporting buying his wares and all that. There's still a bunch of books I haven't read for him. Just got to give me a chance to get over it emotionally because I'm still.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta tell you, Janai was a rough month for all of us. It really was. I mean,
Yep.
it
Yeah, go
always
ahead, Shelby.
fun.
I know he never thought of himself as a big time author, and he always just talked about the other writers that he spoke with as
Right. Mhm.
just community, his writing family.
There
He was
you
able
go.
to. It was never. He always was really happy to hear when he inspired people, but to him it was more like he felt like dad proud, not like I'm famous proud, but like
Mm-hmm.
I hear. Yeah. 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 You said it better than I could say it. So yeah, thank you. You said it better than I could.
Beautiful.
He said, "Love and prayers from Scotland." Thank you, Facebook user. Like I said, and if you want to get your name in the comments, there's a link to click through StreamYard to give them permission, and then your name will appear, so we kind of know who we're talking to out there. Another good comment here. I remember him telling me he was humbled to have his books on my shelf next to Stephen King's and Dean Koontz. They are the ones who should be humbled. Peter cared about every fan. He was one of a kind.
Yeah, you know, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, right there, like I was trying to explain. Yeah.
I know he was the one thing he struggled with moving to Tennessee was definitely losing the ability to see his fans one-on-one with when he would go to conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
He it scared the crap out of him. He was not one for public speaking very often, and but he would love to go and meet people and be a part of that crowd and be around everyone who's so creative there. That was something he was the big struggle with the state was losing that ability because he loved seeing fans. He loved being able to talk to people who at any point in time just thought of him as just a part of their life in general. And that's always what he wanted, was to just be a part of everyone's life and try to help.
Hope we got us another
Good person.
nice comment here. Wow, some people are really doing some writing today. It's apparently really getting some folks. Excuse me. Said, I can't even begin to tell you how much Peter impacted all of our lives, not only with his books, but his presence here. I was kind of starstruck when I found his fan page, as silly as it sounds, and how he always found time to answer your comments. And with time, you just realize that he wasn't only a great author, but a truly awesome person. I even had the honor to beta read some of his books and screenplays. I'm so glad I got that opportunity. The signed books I got from him will always have, and I guess they're going to be finishing that statement because they ran out of words. But
Right.
and there's a lot of that sentiment out there, a lot of it. I mean, it goes to show you the impact he did have on people in general. I mean, even if you never met him in person,
Right.
if you
feel like he
interacted
did.
with him,
Yeah,
Mhm.
he always made you feel like a friend or made you feel special, no matter what. Even just through his writing, you
Exactly.
always felt that. Yeah.
Right. You know.
Yes,
But
I
you
know
know,
I'm.
but
Go ahead,
Peter
Angel.
Stefan kind of also taught me something else. It kind of taught me that you tell that person you love them. Be next to them. Make sure you tell them you love them because you just never know when they're gonna go. You just never know. I mean, when I read, you know, when he passed away, it kind of tore me apart. I mean, I remember I didn't get too much sleep that night. I really didn't, and I had a devil disappointment the next morning, and it was rough. So I mean, tell that person, tell your family members you love them. I mean, don't hold that back. That's what Peter. I think that's what Peter kind of taught all of us that show them that love. Don't hold it back. Because you just never know. You know,
Yep.
Well said. Very well said.
yeah. I mean, I'm tearing up right now. I'm trying not to shed any tears right now. I mean, I gotta.
So yeah, I've almost cracked up a couple times during the first hour when me and Victoria were on. I took a minute to kind of
It's not
push
the
through it a little
easiest thing
bit.
in the world, I've seen.
Well, now, how about a good vacation memory?
Ah.
Probably. I mean, we went on lots of great family vacations, and I could say, that we went to Disney World, and that was lots of fun. But I think my favorite ones were we would go to Lake McConaughey in Nebraska
Mm-hmm.
when we were little kids, and one of my favorite things that he would do is we would inflate this giant, basically water mattress. I guess it was one of those things you're supposed to lounge on, but it was supposed to fit like 2 people.
Mhm.
And they were doing foster care back then, and all of us kids would climb on it, and my dad would swim underneath it at random times and just dump us into the water, and something like clearance sale, everything must go. It's a lot of fun, and if any of us were able to cling on, he would just sort of take us and chuck us into the water. And
Oh wow!
fun.
Oh.
Yeah, he was an amazing dad. He was always very hands-on and interactive, and he stayed that
Oh
way.
yeah.
He I mean, I know my mom posted videos of him playing with my kid, but when it came
Mm-hmm.
to any child, baby, animal, anything that needed his care, he just loved being a part of it.
Excuse me, guys, for 1 minute. I'm just going to go take a quick little break. I'll be back in just a moment.
Okay.
Okie dokie. And with that, we will be bringing on Evelyn, who we will get to meet now. I am assuming. Well, it's not giving me the option to bring her on. Why not?
Hmm.
Oh, and she went away again.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, Evelyn, we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying.
Yeah, technology at its finest.
Always. Can't count on it. We can't live without it either. It's just
Right.
one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what was, if you could characterize Peter in one word, what would it be?
A goofball. Everyone
I like that.
saw him as this really, and he was incredibly intelligent, intellectual man who could have these great conversations, but he loved just joking around and playing. Like, goofball is the best thing that I could put out there for him, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he used to wear his pants inside out because he was too lazy to put them the correct way. So his pajama pants with the ears because the pockets would be the outside, and if he got really into riding, he'd run his hand through his hair and it would just fluff up more and more, and he'd have this giant spiky head by the end of the day.
Oh, I love it. So we got us
He,
another comment here. No, go. No, you go ahead. We can
No, go
get to the
ahead.
comment. Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Said I started listening to the Undead World series for about the 5th time on the day he passed. It made me feel a little bit closer to him. There will never be another Peter Meredith. So,
And Jack, I'm going to cut you off, Jack, but that last part, there will never be another Peter Meredith. That's very, very true. Like I was saying in my testimony, that there's a big void that was created. I don't think it's ever going to be filled. I honestly, Peter Meredith was one of a kind. I don't think anybody. I mean, we could try. I and the other artists are going to be able to try, but I don't think we're going to come close to what Peter did. Filling that void. Like she said, there's not going to be another Peter Meredith. Definitely not.
exactly. Got us another comment already. Says, my interactions with Peter were limited, but when I did talk to him, he always came across as a humble man who took the time to interact with his fans. This attitude and his prolific works are something I can only hope to achieve a fraction of.
Yeah, I agree. 100. Even as an author, I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
And this one says,
And
I
humble
appreciate
is-
his
sorry,
intellectual
Jack.
depth. Oh, no, I appreciate his intellectual depth of writing. And that is something he was so spot
Right.
on everything he wrote. As we talked about during the first hour, the research he put in and just getting details and not just glossing over stuff. It's like if he needed something to be accurate, he was going to get it accurate.
Yeah, you could tell he did his research.
Most definitely. Like I said during the first hours, I would love to be able to check his Google searches.
Yeah, I would have loved to ask.
Stuff.
I would have loved to ask.
Creepy at times.
I would have loved to. I would have loved to know how much time he spent on research.
I'm sure it's quite a bit. Now you were around, obviously, for a lot of that. What was he like when he was in research mode?
He turned to books more than he turned to Google. Google would sort of be the start of things, but when it would come to history or medical things, like how the body was working to do like bite marks or how cold water would affect the body, that sort of things, it would start on the internet, and then he would take the keywords he would find there and go and get books and just pour through them, and then would go back to the internet to get more stuff and just back and forth. It was very impressive, actually, how much time he spent looking through everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing that right now. Actually, looking at the internet, I'm reading a book about ancient civilization. So yeah, I'm kind of taking a page out of your father's book. So yeah.
We'll go staying in that same vein. I'm just going to let y'all read this one. This one's funny.
All right.
Yeah, that's what he would say too. He's like, my name's on a list for sure.
Damn.
That was really funny. I like that.
Ouch.
Yeah, we would walk in on him researching every once in a while, and he'd have the craziest things typed in, like how fast can a vacuum remove blood from the body, or how quickly does something penetrate through the bloodstream? And we would sit there and go, what are you writing about? Do we need to be concerned?
See him in a padded room. But yeah, I mean, all these comments that we've been getting today, I mean, they tell the story in their own right. Just how much people loved him, adored him, and a lot of people are saying a lot of the same things about just how engaging he was. Okay, here we go, and someone's telling us their name. He said, "Hi, I am." Man, why is everybody coming at me with these hard names? I'm from the South. I can't pronounce certain things. Said, "Hi, this is Jennifer Sikierski. I think I got that right, Sikierski. I just wanted to say that every once in a while, we are blessed to have someone in our lives that we have never met. Peter was that person to many of us. He is truly missed."
Oh, yeah.
And Michelle Beatty, Peter asked once where everyone was taking their vacation this year. I told him I was going to pitch a tent in his backyard. Pretty sure he would have let me.
As long as you didn't wake him up at night, I don't think you would have had a problem with it.
Yeah, that would have been worth a shot. I mean, I would have not mind taking an airplane ride just for that opportunity. An expensive airplane ride, but yeah.
You ain't kidding.
We used to pitch tents in the backyard all the time as kids. I think he would have just at some point stuck his head out and been like, "Hey, lights out," just for the fun of it. But
Now, did he ever sneak out after he thought y'all might be asleep and mess with you?
oh, all the time. He was part of a very elaborate prank phone call bit that my brother and some of his friends were playing on me and my friends one night. They called and they pretended to be these police officers, and I went inside. I was like, "Dad is peeping on the phone. Like we keep getting these phone calls." He's like, "No, your brother hasn't been on the phone at all. What are you talking about? They're out front." And I'm like, "Oh, well, this is concerning. We've got the police calling us." Then. And he's like, "Really? Well, next time I'll just make sure you get all the details and stuff." And they had us all freaked out by the end of the night. And the boys and my dad were just laughing.
Oh yeah.
That's classic.
That's classic.
Okay, another
Okay.
comment in. I'm a bit of a nerd and ex-military, and I appreciate his accuracy.
Mhm.
If I was starting a war, I would have wanted him on my side. That's heavy duty.
You guys would have gotten along very well. He was a big nerd, and he grew up in a military family and was in the military, so he loved all that stuff.
That makes sense.
Yep.
That makes yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm loving the outpouring of just people's feelings today and everything. And like I said, I'm not sure why we couldn't get Evelyn on earlier, but if anyone does want to come on, feel free. I've got the links posted in multiple places. All you have to do is just click on it, and it'll ask you to open in your browser. You open in your browser, you'll pop up on my screen. I tap your little thumbnail, and there you'll be. So, and also keep bidding, everybody. Be having to give you an update here very soon. In fact, right about now. Now,
All right.
what were some of his biggest pet peeves?
Good question.
His child or for other people?
Both. Give us both.
That's a noted question.
Versus, just generic pet peeves. So, let's see.
She's got to find a good one. That's what she's doing right now.
Man, so I'm trying to think of
Jack with the stunning questions.
That's my
That's
job.
just what he most stomping people.
I think his biggest pet peeves were when people stated things as facts without actually doing the research on it. So this was the thing. Like,
I've actually seen that on Facebook. I used to see posts. Yeah, I used to get. Yeah, I mean, Ed would annoy me as well. I don't blame him. I get annoyed by that too, actually. So yeah.
Well, just a quick follow up. I pulled up the comments thread so I could get an idea who some of the Facebook users were over here. The humbled about having his books by the Stephen King and Dean Koontz books. That was the Jenny Sikorsky. It said that. Steffi Follier, I can't even begin to tell you how much Peter impacted all of our lives, was one of the people. And our good buddy from the Written Undead, Ben Black, is the one that was talking about his interactions with Peter were limited, but did talk to him. And he always came across as a humble man. So, hey, Ben, I see you're out there, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for watching, Ben.
And so far, the winner of the funniest comment so far, the CIA plot probably flagged him. That would be Chris Smith. That's also the nerd and ex-military person as well.
Yeah, he got along real well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, very cool. John Meredith says, pet peeve, vegetables.
Vegetables.
I don't think that counts as a pet peeve more than just a deep loathing. But hi, Uncle John.
Yeah, so we can say, here, there it is, bang.
Pet peeve vegetables.
Yeah, I don't like vegetables either, so yeah, I'm with him.
My mom had to get real clever and blend everything to purees to get things into his food. So
Hidden vegetables.
Hey, Jack, you're the same way, right? You don't like your veggies?
Oh, no, I've actually, over the years, become quite the fan of veggies.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes,
Okay.
especially during the summer when it's hot, I'll come home, throw together a salad. Of course, by the time I'm done building it, it's not healthy. With all the French dressing and everything.
I mean, I don't like lettuce and tomato, but it has to be on a bacon cheeseburger. That's there you go.
I apologize for the weird noises. The dog got a bath, and now he's got the zoomies, so Baxter might make a guest appearance over here.
Oh.
Yeah, a little glitchy on my end right now. It's all good. We're still
Yeah,
here.
I can tell. I can tell.
And the knives are still up for sale. So
Oh,
get out there and bid
Sorry.
on them. They are beastie.
don't
Oh, is that the
apologize. He's
Dread Pirate?
gorgeous.
That's the Dread
that the-
Pirate. He had a bath, and now he's got the zoomies.
Holy
Oh.
Toledo. Look at him go.
So, there he goes.
Come
It's
over
like an
here,
Attack of the
come on,
Muppets.
There you go. Attack of the Muppets. Yes, very ferocious little Muppet.
got me feeling the animal vibes right now. So we got us another comment here. It says, hey, I started reading Peter's books about 11 years ago and contacted him on Facebook to let him know how fantastic his work is. Then became friends with him. So
Awesome.
Dad loved. He wasn't good at making friends in person, so he loved when people would reach out to him because.
Yeah, I mean that's the beautiful side of social media, that you can actually make friends.
Yeah.
You know, when you're just not good at making friends. Like me, I'm not good at making friends in real life, so you know I kind of make friends here. So I could definitely understand. We got another comment here, Jack.
go ahead if you want to read it.
Yeah, we come friends and friends with his wife Stacy too. Even now, I would never forget Peter for Wham's death. Anyone who knows the books will get this.
Well, darn it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that book's been out for a little bit, so it's not going to be a spoiler for too many people.
Right, yeah, they probably know what he's talking about.
But yeah, keep the comments coming in, everybody. And while y'all keep chatting there a little bit, I am going to go and get us a little update. I like doing these little updates. This is fun.
Yeah, see how we're doing.
So let's start.
Trying to think.
All right.
So now, Shelby, let me ask you a question. How did your father feel when he finished his first book, his first ever published book? How did he feel?
So he had actually written a couple of them before he had gotten them published.
Oh, okay.
So when he first got it published, it was a huge relief, and he was super excited about it. When he first finished writing his first book, he was actually, oddly enough, a little stressed out because he knew the next book and knew that it was about to start writing the next one. So he was already preparing for the work for that. And he was always just one to jump from one project to the next. So there was excitement in reaching milestones like getting published and getting his book in stores.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the
I hear you.
completion of the actual books was just a pause between the next one that he wrote. So it was
Yeah,
never a sense of calm.
right. Mm-hmm. I totally understand. Yes, it's just
I
another obstacle, basically, for him. Right.
Yeah, exactly. He, with any of his hobbies, he would very much turn his hobbies just into work. Like working out and stuff, it was always about pushing himself and always continuing.
Oh, yeah.
So with anything like that, it was never a sense of calm in between moments. It was just, all right, well, here's the next things I got to do.
All right.
Okay.
So, Jack, what do you have? What do you have for us?
Well, I'm going to start you off with a really nice update for
right.
the Apocalypse, the Undead World series, which is books 1 through 11. Very nice series. $250.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
On that one. On the Skull, which I know a lot of people got a kick out of that thing, it just hit $100 on the Skull.
Good. All right.
So, and I actually bid on that this morning, but now they've done priced me out of the market.
Yeah, you're pretty much done. Mm-hmm.
And big thanks to Chris Smith. He was the one that had donated the knives, and he just got his second bid on one of them. It's now up to $60 for the knife, so that's very, very cool. Zombie Road by David Simpson. Our good friend Jamie Hernandez just updated the bid on that. It's now at $60.
Okay. All right.
So that's moving along pretty well. Let's see how some of the other actual series are doing. As I scroll and I scroll and I scroll. And there's just so much going on here today. Well, we'll check out Bailey Higgins. Okay, she's still at 45, which is still very nice. The Mark Tufo John O'Brien donation is sitting at 40. Very cool. The other knife that was donated is at 30. So I mean everything's getting checked out. So that is very, very, very cool. I am absolutely thrilled with that. And Victoria's donation is okay. It's still holding strong at 50. Okay, here we are. Back to we're still at $100 for Generation Z, which that's one Angel said he'd started with.
Mm-hmm.
And we are still holding strong at 100 for the Apocalypse Crusade books 1 through 5. So very, very cool.
Good.
Everybody just keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it going. Even if you don't manage to win something through the auction, you can always go to the GoFundMe link and donate there. It'd be very much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how much longer is left on the auction, Jack? How much longer to go?
We've got 3 hours and 10 minutes, so still plenty of time.
Time to get
you
a
got your
bid
critter.
in.
I got my critter.
Time to get bidding. Yep, you heard Sue. Get bidding, people.
Mine's around somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he likes to come in and crash the show every now and then. He's pretty notorious for that. Of course, when we were doing when we were doing the Written Undead podcast yesterday, what people couldn't really see, although I did turn the screen at one point, the little sucker was attacking me through the whole second half of the show. And at one point, I pushed him back, and I came back over. Next thing I know, he's got me by the forearm. I'm like, you little monster. He back there. He's probably about to take him a nap. That's what he do. He's either up tearing up something or sleeping.
Sounds like a kitty cat.
Sounds like a good cat, huh?
Hmm.
Okay, let's see. I've got a little behind on our comments over here. Let's see. Here's one. If I can get it to pop up. Oh. There it goes. The main thing that came across from Peter was his love of Stacy and his family. He was humble and kind.
I saw that. That was not evidence of that.
And a little love for Baxter.
Baxter, the dreaded pirates.
And says, Jack, thank you. Angel and Shelby, take care.
Thank you.
To whoever that was, this is absolutely our honor and pleasure to get to do this today. It really is. Like I said before, tomorrow will be my 1-year anniversary of ever doing a podcast of any sort, period. And it was like up in a different group or whatever. And if you'd have told me back then that I'd be sitting right here right now doing something like this, I'd think you'd had brain damage. Like, no. And yet here we are. And I said, it's got me right here big time. So like I said, everyone,
great job with it, Jack.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
And it's amazing. It's amazing that, your first Written Undead podcast was with me. It all started with that. And it's grown to such big names. And now we're doing it big time. And, whatever honor we have, than doing it for the great Peter Meredith. So, Jack, man, thank you for sticking with it. Thank you for giving it a shot. And look where you are now, buddy.
Yep. And I said, Shelby, I don't know if you had caught this when we did the first hour, but I told like a fairly short story about how leading into the week that me and Angel got to hang out with Peter, I'd started considering just not doing them anymore. That I wasn't feeling good about it. I was kind of getting down on myself about it. The imposter syndrome. I mean, the authors know all about that.
I remember.
And he, without knowing that that's where my mind was at, he was so complimentary of me. He was so just kind to me. And he started telling me how good I was doing and keep it up. And, who do you got on, for the next show and yada, yada. And, just loving all over Angel and everything. And I'm like, well, I guess maybe I should just kind of keep going and see what happens. And so I kept going. And as I've said, I owe it to Peter. Otherwise, there's a good chance that I would have just stopped. I'd have just gave up.
Yeah, because That's because I remember that week. That's all you kept telling me, Jack. That I wouldn't give up. I
Yep.
remember.
Yeah, because remember back in those days, I was having major issues with crashing and freezing. I couldn't even do video. I had to go just with the icon, which was a small funny story. When he came back on with me and Angel for the actual show with all three of us, me and Angel were both just little avatar things because we are both having little, screen issues or video issues.
Right.
So Peter's like, well, hang on a minute. I'm not going to be the only one on camera. So he took himself off camera, and that's the whole interview is just three icons.
I remember, Jack, because I remember you had issues with Comcast.
Yep. And ever since I got this new modem, that's why I've kind of frozen a couple times a day. I've got to get them to resend a signal or do something. But it's working pretty good so far for the most part.
You seem to be doing good today.
But I'm telling you guys, Peter had an innate ability to touch a person's life without even trying to. Just a comment, just a few words, and that's all it would take, especially for a fan. You get an author that you love, you make a comment on something they post, and they comment back to you.
Right.
It's a feeling you just can't understand.
Mhm.
Like it's just it's something so special. And just
It
like if an
really
author
is.
writes you into a book, I mean, if an author writes you into a book and then you see your name, it's amazing. And Peter was one of the types that he always wanted to make his fans feel important, and that was so great. See, do we have a fresh comment over here? All righty. So he's talking about the knives. He said, so the Cold Steel OSI is about 240 retail, and the Schrade is about 80. So you guys can get a heck of a bargain on this thing, so get away.
Get bidding. Get bidding.
Yes.
Well, welcome back, Victoria.
We got Victoria back.
I just wanted to quickly say that, that about him affecting so many people. And he really did. He touched my life. He touched a lot of people's lives that we never even met him. But he just had a way of doing that, like to make you feel like you're a friend. And that's why I think this is all just floored us so much, is because he was just such a good person and so caring.
He was,
really had a way of making a difference in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always felt like when you've got people like Peter, like Stacy, well, hell, like the whole family over there.
The whole family, you could say. There you go.
If we could populate the world with people like that,
yes,
we wouldn't have any of the problems that we have right now. None of them.
Amen.
Bingo. Yeah, I mean, even the politicians would be good. Yeah, believe me. Yeah.
In fact, maybe that's what we need to do. We got the Republicans and the Democrats. Maybe we just need to start the Peter Party.
That's right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah, but not just the United States, Jack. Even down here too, we can use a little cleaning out. But anyway, let's not get into politics now. Yep.
Nope. So
anyway.
I'm going to say this might be John. Oops! I'm over here hitting buttons I don't need to be hitting. I think that is him there. So it's amazing that my introverted brother has become so loved and respected through his work. You all amaze me. Thank you.
That's sweet.
You're welcome. You're
I'm
so
super
welcome.
introverted. Oh, go ahead, Angel.
No, I know. You're so welcome. Yeah. That's all I was going to say.
I'm really introverted myself, so I get it. Like, I get the shyness, and I get how hard it is to come out and talk to people in public and put yourself out there, even your work out there. It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
I really respected that about him.
That's something I struggle with too. But then I think that comes down to the beauty of reading and writing and books in general. The books are a really special thing. They really are, and they reach all kinds of people in all kinds of places, when they help people in so many ways. And I think that has got a lot to do with that, I think.
Definitely.
Well, we got our first bid in for Javin Bonds' donation. He's got $20 on that, so let's keep it going on up. Now, I'm somebody who is current with all of Javin's books, and I'm telling you, y'all want to bid on those things. Get out there, go do it. And it's for a great cause. So get to it, peoples.
Yeah, his zombie series is great.
Can I ask what's your guys' favorite books? of my dad's were?
Well, for me, I'm still
Generation
on like,
Z
Mhm.
for me.
and for me, I'm in one series right now. Again, as you can see the wall behind me, it keeps me quite busy. But it's the Apocalypse Crusade is the one that I'm working on. That's why that comment about Ram earlier.
Yeah.
Know nothing
Ah,
about that yet. Know nothing about that
Although,
yet.
although I will say my second favorite of his was actually his Lit RPG book.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
I remember your father got to get into Lit RPG. I actually enjoyed it. You know, it's a shame that it didn't get as much traction as it should have. But I really enjoyed his Lit RPG book. You know, it's a shame that it didn't get as much traction as it should have. But you know, I think for him it was more of a neighbor of Mo rather than try to make it big in the RPG. I think he just loved the genre so much he wanted to give it a shot. So I could actually appreciate that for him. So that would be
Okay,
my
for
second favorite.
all right, one of our viewers has said Undead World is theirs. The
Okay.
next says Dead Eye Hunt is my favorite. And somebody made a little comment on Javin. Javin Bonds is a sick brother, and I love him. And it says, I have many favorites Sprite, Undead World, and Gen Z. So sometimes you can't just pick one.
Mine
Yeah,
was.
it's a noted. Yeah.
I love the Undead World. That was my absolute favorite. It blew my mind. It literally blew my mind when I read that series. I loved it so much, especially Jilly Bean and Ipes and all that stuff. It was just, I just went places. It was so good, and that's what really got it for me. I was like,
Yeah,
this is
I gotta
amazing.
catch up on that series.
I listened to it like
What,
3 times in a row. Like back, I loved it so much. I was like, I can't get out of that world. I need to go back in.
well, now, Shelby, give us some, if you know, where did Jilly Bean come from?
Ah.
Good question.
I'm not fully sure, to be honest. He did say that parts of it came from Goofy stories from when I was a kid.
Mhm.
He said he took her fearlessness from when I was little because I guess I used to stand at the top of the stairs and just pop into his arms and stuff. And I know little bits of that came from there, but I think mostly the character just developed from him. I mean, he. I was told a story of when he was a kid. He ditched preschool because he wasn't enjoying it and didn't want to go. So he slipped out and hung out because he knew he'd get in trouble if he went home right away before going home. He was just an incredibly clever kid, and I think he just put a lot of himself in Jilly Bean and her adventurous side and her quick thinking side. She was so incredibly crafty, and Dad was very quick, just on his feet, in his mind, everything. It was very incredible to watch. I think her sinister side developed. He said that there was just darkness in everyone, and if you're put in such a horrible situation, it's bound to be more developed than if you're raised by loving, caring parents who did not get killed by a zombie and die in a bed. So I think for that side, he very much wanted to look at the human aspect of how easily we were able to be broken.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off now. I'm gonna have to get busy cooking dinner, so I'll see you guys later.
All
And
right.
Jack, I'll see you
What are we?
guys.
I didn't know what we're having. What are you making?
Making some steak and rice and yeah. So
We'll be over in half an hour.
Yep, I'll see you here soon.
yeah, I'll talk to you later, Jack. We got a show together, so I'll see
Thank
you
you
Yep,
very
later.
much.
I'll
All
have
right,
my Centurion
take it easy,
uniform ready to
everybody.
See
go.
you,
Thank
Angel.
you.
Bye, Angel.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, we got some more comments rolling in. I'm just loving how these comments are rolling in here. This is just
Mhm.
tickling me. It says all of his books are my favorite. Jilly Bean is my favorite character. It says I'm a book listener too, but I read Dead Eye Hunt too. It was the first book I actually read in years. So that's something.
Mhm.
And Jilly Bean was the most amazing, fleshed out character that I've ever read. Her genius and darkness and willing to do evil for good was awesome.
It really is. She really is that awesome. I mean, it
Dad had so
blew my
much
mind.
fun creating her.
Wow. I just
He really
can't.
does.
I can't even picture a better. I don't know how you could ever outdo that. It's so good.
Yeah, the whole series is amazing with her in it. That's for sure. And I know she brings this life to each of the books. That I mean, they're great stories in general, but just the character he created with her, it's what you really attach to through the whole series.
And listening to the audiobook was even better for me because, Basil did a great job with narrating it, but you get such a different feel. Like you really get a feel for, her talking. And I love reading books, but listening to them with the right person it brings it to a whole nother level. And it's just so good. I'm going to start listening to it again.
He was really happy with the audiobook. I know that the voice actor, the audio reader who did it, he did a lot of auditions, and he would ask them certain things like, "Can you retry the character this way?" Or because he really wanted the actors to get the proper
He did an
tone.
amazing job. He did a great job with it. He's probably one of my favorites. I'll never forget
Cool.
his voice. I always think of his voice when I hear things in my head. It's like I hear his voice telling it to me.
Now, Stacy has popped in, said it may still happen.
It's great.
And Timothy Patrick Bryan, it may still happen. So I'm not sure what exactly all that means, but
I'm not sure.
So if you, I'm trying to think how to word this. If you could think of a place, if Peter could literally go just have lived anywhere in the world that he wanted to, no expense mattered, nothing, where would he have gone?
I mean, I think with Tennessee, he really was moving to where he wanted to go. He loves the East Coast. He loves having nice, comfortable, moderate temperatures year round. He loves being able to just be comfortable as he went about, and he loved exploring everything that was nature. And I mean, he loved the fact that him and the dog could go out and explore the trees and the rivers, and this was more home for him, was just the East Coast in general. I think when him and Mom came out here, he really fell in love with this area in particular. But I know that my mom was mentioning him also wanting to live on a boat so they could explore. My dad was all about finding new things and exploring new things. So I think at some point he was really trying to aim for living in a boat so they could go up and down the coastlines and just see everything.
Ah, cool. Okay, another comment. Not a lot of authors could make you feel through the pages and know each character. I literally could see Neil, Jilly Bean, and Sadie. He made us love and hate them all at the same time. And I am thinking this must be the person Stacy was referencing. Says, I talked with Stacy and I'd like to pick up what he's done with Dead Eye Hunt 3 and help him finish it.
Wow. That's
And that would
really
be great.
cool. That's really
And
cool.
someone seems to think Thailand with Stacy. Or Kentucky.
Was Peter very outdoorsy? Did he spend a lot of time outside?
Yep, he loved to hunt, fish, camp, climb,
Awesome.
bike, anything that was outside. That he normally loved doing it.
Oh, cool.
He very much encouraged all of us to be outside too when we were growing up. It was very much, we would play games of family kickball, and he took us to the mountains to learn to ski and hike. And I have no sense of direction, but he tried to teach us how to find the way out of the woods. I cannot do that.
I can't either. Oh, that's awesome. It's nice to know a different side of him. We always just see the author, and to see his family talk about him, and it just proves how wonderful of a guy he was, and loved you guys so much.
He was a great man. He had lots of facets to his character that always, it made him interesting to just be around, and you could never truly know all of him, except unless you're my mom, because you're literally always with him then. But I mean, he had sides to himself that me and my brother never even saw, that I don't think his brothers or sisters really saw. It's just, he was always one who wanted to grow and develop who he was. So there was no one version of Peter Meredith. And I'm glad that the side that he showed all of you guys, it was always so amazing, because he really was. Each of his characters were just an incredible person.
Well, now, when you were growing up, his parenting style, was he one to kind of like keep you from doing certain things to avoid you getting hurt or being disappointed, or he just like go skin your knee, fall off the bike, just
Uh,
have at it?
Dad encouraged us being adventurous, hands down. There was no question about it. I would pull stupid crap, and he would never be the kind of person to say, "Oh, be careful," because he told me when I was growing up, he's like, "Well, if I say that, then you're going to overthink it." So he would be close. He would always be very close. So if we did fall, if we did slip, he would be there to grab us and catch us. He had crazy fast reflexes, but he wanted us to trust ourselves and our bodies, and he wanted us to know that
Wow.
if you make a mistake, it's going to hurt, but you learn how to do it properly then. So he was always great with that. And he was always a very gentle father. He was never one to, he never did things like spanking unless it was like an emergency, like I try to stick my finger in an electrical socket sort of thing where you have to, no, that's a thing. No, right now. It was, we're going to talk this out. You're going to sit and calm down, and then we're going to sit and talk this out and explain why you got in trouble for this or why you should have done this differently and stuff. Yeah. Just an incredibly patient man. And I mean, he's been that way through me and my brother and all the foster care kids and my kid and all of his animals too. He would just baby the heck out of us at times. It was great. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now, did you ever get into any kind of trouble and he covered it up?
I don't know about covered it up, but he did say that as long as he didn't know about it, I couldn't get in trouble for it. So, while he would turn a blind eye to certain things, like I would sneak out every once in a while in high school, and he was a light sleeper, so I'm 99% certain I woke him up more than once sneaking back into the house. But I got home safe. I clearly didn't get in trouble since nothing occurred. But he let it be. He was like, all right, well, you have to go and explore your own sort of thing at that point in time. And he was really great for when I did get in trouble. I got really lost one night. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and I had to call him because I was like, this was back before smartphones. And so I was like, I have no idea where I am. This map is making no sense. I don't know how to get back home. He's like, you couldn't have called me hours ago. And I was like, I didn't know I was lost hours ago. So he got on his scooter and gave me directions back to the highway so I could get my butt back home.
That's
He was
great.
really great about that. I mean, the man was so wonderful. When I was pregnant, I was scared of getting the epidural by myself, and my partner at the time didn't do blood or needles or anything like that really well. So I called him up at 4:00 in the morning, and he drove all the way to the hospital, and he just held on to me and supported my body as I sat there and got the epidural, which was very painful, but it was amazing because
Wow.
he was just always right there, no matter how scared you were, no matter what was going on. He would take the time to step aside and do what you needed to do and do what he needed to do or what he felt he needed to do. And if there was one thing I could count on, it was him, no matter what was going on. He and I always said we could turn to mom for certain things, we could turn to dad for certain things, but the fact is that between the two of them, we were always able to go to one of them for everything. Any problems, any questions, anything like that.
Well, did they ever play good cop, bad cop?
No.
Okay.
They were a team through and through. We would get in trouble. If they didn't know how to respond right away, they would walk away and they would do a conversation between themselves before they would come at us with, hey, this is your punishment, this is what's occurring, that sort of thing. We never felt like, oh, well, I won't get in trouble with dad for this, or I won't get in trouble with mom for this. It was always, well, if I'm going to get in trouble, it's with both of them. And it will be whatever they decide together. It was never a question of it being separated with any of it.
Wow.
So now were they big on grounding? Did you get grounded?
Mom and dad were very much into trying to figure out what worked for us as kids. So, for me, I would normally get grounded just because I hated being stuck in my room. I'd get bored kind of easily. I loved reading and stuff, but I needed to be doing other stuff. So I could end up getting grounded quite a bit. With my brother, he was much more social. So for him, it was more like, well, you can't go hang out with your friends, because that was more of a punishment for him than just being stuck in his room.
What's the longest he ever grounded you for?
A couple of weeks. I don't remember what the reason was. I know I did something real stupid, but
I was going to say you got capital punishment on that one.
yeah,
Man, 2 full weeks.
it was a bad one. I think I got caught breaking curfew. And doing, I think I was out with someone who he didn't really approve of in general, and he already warned me about that. So for that one, I think I was stuck in my room for like 3 weekends or whatever, and after school. But even then, it's not like I was left to twiddle my thumbs. He would come in, he'd say hi, my parents would check on us, that sort of thing. We were, encouraged to come down for family dinner, so we still had socializing and stuff. It was never a harsh punishment. It was just whatever fit the kid.
Okay. Okay. So now, did you learn your lessons?
I learned not to get caught.
I knew it.
If that helps.
Those
Um,
wild,
I
rear-ended
was a
Meredith
kid.
kids.
I was real stupid back then. I mean, we all make stupid mistakes, but I know for a fact that I probably drove my parents up the walls at times.
Well, don't
But
stop doing that. You got to keep doing it. It's kind of the rule or your job as a kid. You've got to drive your parents crazy.
I have a kid now, so I now am in their shoes, and
Uh-oh.
I used to call them up occasionally and be like, "I'm so sorry for what I did."
You don't realize it until later when you have a kid.
Yep. Third generation now, so you're like, "Oh God."
Did you
Sorry,
and your
froze up
brother
there.
ever team up and get into some trouble together?
I mean, we would get into pranks and arguments and just take it too far, and that's normally how we would get in trouble together. Is we would just push things just a little bit too far. But I feel like every kid does that.
That
So.
happens. Yep.
Yep.
No, that's
Yeah.
Well, we got
Yeah.
a question for you there, Shelby. Said, when did your dad start writing?
Oh, geez. So writing an actual book, I think, started a little later, back when I was in high school. I remember, though, he would bring a notebook with him to my gymnastic classes, along with his favorite books, and he would take notes on certain writing styles and that sort of thing, and would develop characters
I
while
do
waiting
that too.
to do that. And that was, I think, 6th grade, basically, to 8th grade. So over 20 years ago. I don't know. It was a while ago. He didn't write his actual stories at that point in time, but he was creating characters. He was starting storylines and stuff. Um, I know my mom said that he started writing books. He used to work with special needs adults. He would
Oh,
be a
cool.
living caretaker for, I think, 3 nights a week. So he would just go there, and at night, he normally had the night shift as caring for them, but they would mostly be asleep for the most part. And so he would use that empty time to start writing. And I think I was maybe 12 when that happened. So that would have been, I can do math, 17 years ago.
So you're doing better math than I am, I'll tell you that. All right, next question for you. Did he like to travel? I'd
Excuse
always
me
hoped
just a
he would
minute.
have
I'll be right
toured in Scotland.
He loved to travel. He loved to see new things and go new places. I think he wanted to visit a bunch of Europe at more than one point in time. Scotland was definitely in that list. He loved the mythical sides of things too, and Europe has this great history when it comes to mythical things. And so I know he wanted to do things like see the stone hedges and experience the little houses that the people build for fairies and stuff, just because he thought they were so cool that people had this deep belief in the incredible. And yeah, so I definitely think he would have ended up traveling Scotland if he had the chance at some point. I think the furthest or the most likely place that they ended up was Vietnam, to visit my mom's family out there. Um, that he loved it out, just seeing out there as well. He thought it was very pretty, and I mean, again, he loved to learn and grow. So experiencing all these things is definitely would have been on his list.
Awesome. Well, another little quick update. Author Courtney Constantine has donated several of her books
Oh,
for
cool.
the auction, and she's already got bids. She's already at $40. So
That's really cool. Thank
Let's
you.
keep it going. Let's keep it
Oh,
going.
good. Yeah.
See what else we got. Oh, we got some action over here. What's going on? Oh, Victoria, on yours, you're up to $60.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's just rolling. This is just
I'm
blowing my
so
mind.
glad. That's so nice of everyone to do that. It's really,
Good.
really great.
This
It
is
really is.
Yeah.
insane and incredible. Dad always liked to find the best in people, but he really found the best in his fans. This is this is amazing. I'm sorry, I'm just not sure what to say about it.
We're honestly better people because of him. I mean, I literally just value that so much, and I literally now will think, how would he do something, or how can I be nicer and better, because he inspired, I think, all of us in that way. Just a truly decent person who everyone can look up to and be proud of.
No doubt. Well, we've officially got our first true battle going on
Uh-oh.
right now. And that's for the Zombie Road hardback by David Simpson. Earlier, Jamie Hernandez had got the bid up to $60 after Feather Hill Farm had hit it at $50. Well, after she did that, Feather Hill Farm came back with $65, to which she responded $70. Have at it.
I don't know.
That's amazing. Wow. That's kind of fun too. It's fun bidding on things that, you really want. So couldn't
It's
find
like
a better
a safer
cause.
gamble. You have a better chance of winning, safer gambling or whatever.
Okay, and I'm back. Yeah, this thing keeps freezing up a little bit. Well, I'm thinking, guys, about 2:30, we'll take one more quick break. Come back at 3. Hopefully, by then, maybe we can get Basil in if we can manage to pull that off. Because again, like I said, I'd really like to get him on the show, just to pick his brain about getting to narrate for
Exactly.
Peter Meredith. I mean, there's only one Peter Meredith, and there's only going to be one narrator. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal right there.
I think that his books plus Basil narrating was like such a match made in it just was so good. I mean, it was such perfect. I think it was a perfect guy to do that, and it made it so much even better to have those voices heard. It's really amazing. He did a really good job, I think.
No doubt. No doubt. Like I said, because the one I'm listening to right now is Basil Sands, and he's killing it.
I
He's
love his
killing it. It's
voice.
great.
Yeah, he did a really good job. He just has a way of, I don't know, in the voice of even how he did Jilly Bean. I mean, that it was so good. It just was her, at least it seemed like it to me, and I love it.
This is
All
very,
of his
very.
narrators who
Okay,
he's worked
Jack,
with.
you're coming up to a break now, yeah? So I'm
Yes.
gonna
Yep.
say good night and goodbye to you all.
Bye, Sue.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Sue.
coming
Thank you
on.
so
I know
much.
it's
Think
really
it's
late over
freezing on me.
there, so
It's nice to meet you
Take
too.
care,
Thank
all.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. And Shelby, love to you and all your family.
Thank you. I'll pass it on.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 All righty. And again, thank you to Sue for coming on here with us today and hanging out, and for her very generous donation. That was really cool, and hopefully we can get those numbers just to keep going on up there, and just really making a real impact here. This is what we're doing this for. We're wanting to help in any way and every way we possibly can, and so guys, just keep hammering at it. Jamie and Prairie Hill Farm, or whatever it was I'd said earlier, keep duking it out. We're loving watching it happen. It's good stuff. All right, well, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop off here for a minute, give everybody a chance to reload. And Shelby, if you want to come back on, I'll post the link back to you again so you can pop back in with us, hopefully with Basil, so we can all kind of chit chat a little bit. And in the meantime, and in between time, we'll see you guys in about 30 minutes.
Thank you, Shelby, so much for talking with us. We really
Very much so.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
You're awesome.
Have a wonderful day.
Yep.
Hey,
Tell them we
much
love them.
love.
We'll do.
And with that,